We're getting better. And we are live. Welcome, family, to another show. I got the good brother Rob of No Excuse Entertainment in the building. And we got a live topic tonight, man. I know Rob got his opinions on it. I got my opinions on it. My brother Cardell, let me put this up real quick, of the Black Men Travels 2.0 group. If you haven't already joined, guys, make sure you join the Black Men Travels 2.0 Facebook group. So he posted this clip of Kevin Samuels, big YouTuber, big influencer guy. Shout out to Kevin Samuels. I was actually subbed to his channel when he first started because he used to be on BGS a lot. And he makes, like you say, he says a lot of, he makes a lot of sense, basically. We all know Kevin Samuels definitely makes a lot of sense. So I'm going to go ahead and play the clip. Hopefully you guys can hear it of exactly what Kevin Samuels said. And then I'm going to get Rob's opinion. Then I'm going to put my spill on it after that. So let me go ahead and get to this clip. Hopefully you guys can hear it. Here we go.
Is not a white woman. Your biggest problem is not not a white woman. Your biggest enemy is Marisol. Your biggest enemy is the Hispanic woman. She understands how to season food. She understands sensuality, femininity, and she was raised in a patriarchal environment. The difference between femininity and fake femininity is amazing. The Latina problem. Black women, you have a problem. Her name is Maria. Marisol. Love some brothers. And if you notice, they are the old, go to the old black side of town and you will see Hispanics. And the difference used to be the Hispanic men and the men, because a lot of sisters don't, a lot of women, black women need to understand something, that your biggest enemy is not a white woman. Your biggest problem is not not a white woman. Your biggest enemy is Marisol. Your biggest enemy is the Hispanic woman. She understands how to season food. She understands sensuality, femininity, and she was raised in a patriarchal environment. The difference between femininity and fake femininity is amazing. The Latina problem. Black women, you have a problem. Her name is Maria.
All right, everybody heard that clip. Now, when you first heard that clip, Rob, what did you say? What did you think?
When I seen the title, I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, right.
But I mean, he made some solid points. I definitely.
Well, first, give everybody your background real quick, because you are a frequent traveler to South America.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, for those that don't know, Colombia is probably my number one visited place. I've been been all over Colombia, DR, Brazil, thoroughly. Visited multiple cities in each country. So, and also dated and currently engaged to a Colombian now. So, definitely understand where Kevin was coming from.
Okay. You put that back up there. So, but you had a few, opinions about it. First of all, I don't know no Latina woman named Marisol. I don't know where you get Marisol at. I was like, Marisol, what? That sounds like somebody's spray or something. Shout out to my dude Grego in the building, man. But we had conversated earlier, and your take on it was a little different. Even though because I told you, I was like, wait a minute, you said something different, but you about to marry a Colombian woman. Now, like, what's your Colombian fiance? Is she like Afro or mestizo or paisa? Like, what is she?
Oh, she's definitely Afro. She looks black.
Oh, you said Mexican women have the name Marisol. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I dated Mexican women. I'd never met one named Marisol. But okay. So you said she's Afro Latina. Now I will say this. Let me preface this before we really get into it. For the most part, I don't know if I think the title was kind of shocking of the video when he said the enemy. More so, I would think more so like maybe competition.
Right.
But I've dated Latina women my entire life since like high school. You know, if you're talking about the Latina women that grew up in America, you know what I'm saying? Like you're dealing with still a Western mindset to a certain degree, especially if they like second, third generation Colombia and everything. Like an American woman is almost an American woman. So if you're talking about dating, you know, Latina in the States that's been there, it's been 3-4 generations there, that speaks fluent English just like regular, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be dating women that have that type of feminist mindset for the most part. Would you agree with that?
I mean, for the most part, but you don't hear Latinas women bashing Latino men, and they make just as much babies, maybe even more than us. You don't you see more of a family structure still with them. You know, they don't embrace or make it a goal to be a single mother. You know, they definitely want the 2-parent household. I mean, culturally, they have a lot of things. They keep a lot of things intact, and you know. So I will say there's a difference. Even the divorce rate. I don't even know if the divorce rate in the Latin community is as high as Black and white either. So you know, those are some things that stick out.
And have you ever dated a Latina American woman?
In the U.S., I never.
Because mine, I did for 5 years off and on. Mine was crazy.
I never tried to like pursue them like that. You know, I mean, obviously, I've casually dated some, but I never really embraced myself because all the guys I know that dated Latin women in the U.S., they was into their food, their music, and then the women kind of gravitated because they embraced the culture. So I never embraced the culture while in the U.S. Not until I started traveling.
Okay. Yeah, get those likes up for me, family. Do me a favor and hit that like button when you come in the room. Shout out to my dude Grego, Body Thug in the building. Shout out to Charles Explorers. He was on the last stream with me. I appreciate that, bro, for you checking in. So you've been all throughout South America. You know, I'm currently in Brazil. I run to you in Colombia all the time, bro. But you said something to me that was really surprising today. I was like, word, I never looked at it like that. Your statement exactly was, well, it's not necessarily just Latina women, it's foreign women in general that's a threat or comparators in the dating market when it comes to Black men.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, because we travel to particular destinations around the world, and I think having a passport is the biggest threat, to Black women. I mean, they may not see it, or they may feel like we kind of trying to throw it in their face, but what Kevin Severn is highlighting is his platform. He's actually trying to help Black women that want to be in relationships to say this is what you need to do. But there is a real threat because once Black men look at another option, like we not coming back. Like that's gone. Like some brothers like myself just is done completely. So they can't bring us back, but they could probably Black women, they probably could still try to get guys that hasn't really experienced it yet. But what he's saying is, hey, these Latin women, it's like when they say once you go Black, you can't go back. Like once we go foreign, we not coming back.
And you know what bothers them even more so is like the excuse of colorism. Like I hear all the time on some of these channels that be, they always throw me out there and blast me on some of these channels. They'll be like, "Oh, they just like that light skin Latina," and I'll be like, "I'll show you pictures of my ex-girlfriend that's jet black." What you got to say then? You know what I'm saying?
They're gonna say, "Well, she just wants you for your green card."
Not understanding that it's like a really romantic culture. Like a Colombian woman, if she's not interested in you, she'll just keep it moving. Like especially in Brazil, we all know, like in Brazil, they just keep it moving. So it's not like I think the third world country, they're just poor with flip flops on and living in shacks. That comes to mind to some women. Like, oh, we just out there taking advantage. They just want us for our money with it. You definitely have that out there, but you got more of that in the States than anything when it comes to, hypergamy and just want to date men for a come up. But you said something in our conversation earlier that I want you to touch up on about Africa, actually, like African women actually being even more so of a threat.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because they'll black women will say that these guys, they just traveling having fun, but they're gonna come crawling back. That's their mindset. It's like, okay, it's a phase, it's temporary with these Latinas. They don't, what I mean, they feel like they know us so well that we're gonna come back crawling back because they feel like it's not a natural attraction,
Mm-hmm.
but they can't say that when it comes to African women because what I mean, we relate to women of Africa as close as we would to American women. So I think women of Africa is the biggest threat because they have they have the look, they have the curves, they have everything we like in a black woman. But they have the attitude. The attitude is different. The level of femininity is different. The different level of aggression and things like that. So yeah, I mean, going to South Africa alone is like they can't they can't compete with South Africa. And I want to touch on something I had mentioned to you, when we were talking, is that when you notice, this is how you know where black women stand with other women. When women travel, right?
Mm-hmm.
They only travel to countries where they can compete with the women. Also they travel to places where they feel like they could get that mandingo. But you know, black women feel like they could go to a West Africa and compete with those women. They
Hold
may
on, hold on,
feel
hold
like
on, hold on, hold on. Say that one more time. Now you said go back to what you had said. You said they only go to places now to what now?
they only go to places, one, where they could get that mandingo,
Uh
and places where they could compete
huh.
for the men then, where they feel like they could compete for the men then, you know.
Okay. Okay.
So
So so are you saying that they go to West Africa and they can compete for the men there more so than South Africa?
oh definitely. In my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, you know, you don't see there's men all over the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't go to Brazil and compete for Brazil. You know, they don't go to
Man, I
they
can't.
don't
You right. You right. You right. You right. You absolutely right because I had like a couple of chicks come down and mess with me in Colombia. You know what I'm saying? Like on that I knew back in the day from Atlanta. But when I hit them up, and some of them came and actually met some African American chicks in Colombia. It was like a whole crew of them. But when I tell them, "Hey, pull up on me in Brazil," they just like, "Nah, we're not going. I'm not going to Brazil." Like every woman I talk to be like, "Yo, there's too many beautiful women out there. I'm not going to Brazil." And I'm like, "Yo, Brazil is a beautiful country, man. Like you're gonna love it. It's like a big Afro culture here in Brazil. You have more of the African slaves come here than actually North America. So it's a big Afro culture here, and I feel like black women in America can really take a lot from Brazilian black women because so many of them do wear their natural hair. And I believe if once you see so many black women with all these afros and curly fros and just all these beautiful braids and hairstyles, I think when they see that, they'll be like, "Oh wow, wait, what have we been doing in the States all this time? Like my hair is beautiful. I'm just gonna rock it natural." Because I mean, that's one of the biggest things I love about Brazil. Like I tell Afro Brazilians all the time, I'm like, "Yo, rock that fro, girl. I'm feeling it." You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like even last night when I was out, they had the afros and everything, man. So that's very true. Now I will say this: now when you say Africa, for most guys' experiences, you know, Africa seems like it might be a little too far. You know what I'm saying? So I think Kevin might have a point when he says Latina women. He says Hispanic, but Latina women because they're a little closer. And I think that we go to school with them. You know what I'm saying? Like we can interact with them a little bit more so in America. And even if you go, Mexico is right there. Colombia's only a few hours away. But the thing about the African women, it's like from my experience, I can only talk about from my experience. I lived in Atlanta for the most part of my entire life. I never lived in another state. In Atlanta, at least when I was dating out there in Atlanta, like the African girls wouldn't really, you know what I'm saying? Like they weren't really vibing, like they weren't really messing with us like that.
Right. No, I mean, I see where you're coming from. That, in my opinion, especially with I would say myself and others trying to open up Africa to a lot of men. I think once enough men visit, they'll realize we could actually live here. We can speak our natural language.
Let's go. Here we go. There we go. We froze up a little bit. Okay. Rob, you there? You froze up a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good.
That might be my Brazilian internet.
Yeah, I think that's your end. But
all right, we're gonna wait for Rob to come back in. We got 150 in the room. That's what's up. There you go, brother. That might have been on me, man. I got this Brazilian internet going, man. What was you saying? You had cut off for a little second.
No, I was agreeing with you. Yeah, I understand that the continent is far, but once more and more men are exposed to Africa, especially places where they can speak English, and also see the difference in Black women. I think you basically got two options when it comes to women, whether they're Latino or African, right? Either you could live in a country or you could move into the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that more guys would probably be more open to relocate to an African country than they would to Latin America. I mean, guys there's more expat Black men in Latin America now. That's only because those are the most frequent visited places. But if all these countries was visited equally, I think it'll be more expats in Africa. So, the threat is real, especially when you talk about high value men in top 20%. Because the guys that travel, and I think somebody had posted in the group one day, like, who in the group is millionaires or reach millionaire status? It was a lot of Black men was like, yeah, I'm there or I'm close to it. So
yeah, dudes in the group posting screenshots of like $500,000 in their account. I'm like, hey, I'm in the wrong game here.
There's some high value brothers that's traveling, man. I mean, yeah. I'm not a millionaire, but I'm definitely at six figures. So, and I know a lot of guys even guys that's making like 60, 75, 80, like those are still above average men that's traveling, that's done. So they're not seeing, or what Kevin's trying to get them to see is like the pool of men that you want is shrinking, but women don't see it because they still getting DMs by all these men. But once they screen them all, they realize like, dang, like this deal is not, what I'm looking for. So the threat is there, whether it's dating or marriage. What I'll say this, and then you could tell me what you think. They don't see us marrying, or they're not seeing us marrying them because we're not putting it out on social media like that. Because there's a lot of guys that's marrying, but they're not seeing it, so they just think we just out here just playing and having fun. So there's going to be more of us that really put relationships out there that's going to really be eye-opening.
No, that's facts. That's facts. You saying that, guys are getting married to Latino women and we just not putting it out there on social media like that?
Very true.
Yeah, I can agree with that. This guys in the chat say, hey, I've been married to a Brazilian for 10, 15 years. I've been married to a Latina for years. Yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely. I think where Kevin's coming from, though, for the most part, and I just want to put this out there for the family that, dating a Latina woman in the States is going to be much different than dating one when you go to Colombia. You know what I'm saying? Dating one when we go to Brazil. And I'm gonna tell you one of the biggest factors in America. Usually 9 times out of 10, you're dating around your peer group for the most part. Meaning, if you're 35, more than likely you're gonna be dating a woman that's in her 30s, right?
Right,
In
right.
South America, bro, you know, if you 45, your girlfriend is gonna be 25, going to be 24, going to be 23. You feel me?
Yeah,
Like, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like I told you my little dating experience, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna put it out there like that, but you know, like nobody bats an eye to see a man 45 years old holding hands with a 21-year-old out here. Just that's just what it is out here. And I think that's a major difference when you're dating women pretty much, I would say, kind of in their prime. That might be offensive to some women, but you're dating women before they really, you know what I'm saying, have had a whole bunch of relationships, man.
yeah,
And like I don't know if I was telling you or another friend of mine, I said, bro, it's a big difference in showing a woman something new, like going somewhere like Guadalupe or something. Yeah, it's going somewhere like Guadalupe or something for the first time with a woman that's like 22, 21. That's her first experience in Guadalupe. But if you're dating a woman that's 40 years old, your same age, she's gonna be like, oh, I ain't been to Guadalupe 10 times. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I ain't been to Dubai 15 times. You feel me?
right.
So it's just like, nah, man, you kind of want to date women a little younger. So it's a big difference, man. In my opinion, I think you get more bang for your buck if you travel to the actual country instead of just trying to date, you know what I'm saying, Hispanic women in America. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
My boy Jay Clyde, I ain't gonna put his business out there, but he said facts about the ages, BMT. Yeah.
yeah,
You know how we rock, Jay Clyde. You know how we rock in South America, bro. You know, like, and you know what, man? I'm gonna tell you, bro. Like, for my older cats that might think like, yeah, man, you know, I might want an older woman, you know, a little bit more of a mature woman, man. I'm telling you, man, these women in overseas, they have a little bit of a mature, like a 21-year-old, 22-year-old in Colombia and Brazil is going to be much different than a 21, 22-year-old in the
yeah,
States. You know what I'm saying? Like some of them even that age have been through it. So they have a different maturity level, you know. So
yeah. They finish. A lot of them finish high school. Well, what we call high school earlier, 16, 17. Um, in Colombia, DR, they still acknowledge
mhm,
quinceañeras. Becoming a woman. I
mhm.
don't know if they do that in Brazil, but like you said, yeah, they definitely are considered a woman way much, way much younger. So
Yeah, most definitely, man. Shout out to Batty Thug. He says that's a real thing. Sharing a new experience is important. Man, let me ask you this. This is a little off topic, but this is the power of that passport, bro, and that power of being a seasoned traveler. Why do you think celebrities kind of like date the same circle of women for some reason? Like, you know how a chick could be dating, let's say, what's his name? What's the little dude name that played in Rocky, the brother? Michael B. Jordan, right?
hmm
Then she'll be dating Meek Mill. Then she'll be dating Puff Daddy. Then she'll be dating, you know what I'm saying, just going around. And I'm asking, I'm like, bro, why y'all be rotating the same women? Like, do you realize, like, if you go overseas, you're gonna get those like a multitude of beautiful women, bro? Like, I just don't understand it without having to have all of that. You know what I mean? Like, you can actually find a genuine relationship with a woman. Now, you mentioned I'm kissing super chats, but real quick, you had mentioned to me that you said that if you could do it all over again, even though you about to be, you about to be married to a Colombian woman, you were saying that you wish you would have bunkered down in South Africa.
yeah,
Yeah, can you explain why you want to bunker down in South Africa versus Colombia?
yeah. I felt like well, two things, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to for me. You know what I mean? I am glad that I chose an Afro Colombian because I don't feel bad. Like if I didn't feel like I lost out on my blackness dating her when I went to Africa. Now, if I would have went to now if I had like a traditional Colombian and then went to South Africa, I really probably would feel like, man, like this is what I really, really want. You know what I mean? Here in Africa.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But since my girl is black, I didn't feel like I don't feel like I'm missing out. I mean, she could probably blend in with the South Africans. So, but yeah, like I said, if I would have did it all over again, I would have went to I would have started in South Africa because I think I mentioned it in another platform. It's like even like I had like several failed relationships dating Dominican and Colombians before I met the one I'm with now. But and when I went to South Africa, just playing around, like my Tinder, I think I matched with like over 300 chicks the whole time I was using Tinder in South Africa. Colombia, Brazil combined, I don't think I matched like that many as far as like just regular chicks. I ain't talking about working girls. I'm just talking about regular chicks. So, and me visiting, like I know I would have had like bond relationships. You know what I mean? If I would have been with African chicks, and I probably would have found one that just blew my mind. So I just noticed that just from just playing around and just just visiting a couple of times.
Okay, cool. Let me catch the super chats real quick, man. Shout out to Will with a $9.99 super chat. I really appreciate that. He says, I'm 60 years old. I'm dating women 25, 28, 35, 41. Just came back from Bogota. I've been to Brazil 3 times this year, the DR 2 times, and I don't pay. That's what's
It
up, Big
is.
Will. That's what's
It
up with
is.
$9.99 super chat. I love talking to brothers like that, man. They keep you going, bro. I met a guy down here. He might be watching the show. I think he's like 64 years old, man. His energy is just so upbeat. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I love seeing that. I remember we walked around Bar Jajuka. It was me, him, and my boy Raphael. We walked around Bar Jajuka for like at least 6-7 hours, and he was out walking us. So that's what's up. Shout out to Bitcoin Bobby with a $10 super chat, man. I really appreciate that. Okay, he says, I agree and disagree with Kevin Samuels. The biggest threat to black women is themselves, not Latinas. I saw a lot of that in the Facebook group. He says, I myself, once I started dating internationally, Latino women, I never dated black women again. So there is some truth. Shout out to Bitcoin Bobby. Can come on here, keeping it real, setting it on fire. We got $5 super chat from Intellect. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. I apologize for that, my brother. He says, I'm 35. Up until this past June, my main was a 21-year-old Salvadorian, 5'2", 110 pounds, size 0, with an hourglass figure. Gorgeous. I'm in Seattle. I believe that's all the super chats, man. That's real talk, man. That's real talk.
See, we can travel and we can have these results. I never hear black women say, I got this. I went to Jamaica. I went to Ghana, and I got this man. He's spoiling me, and we don't hear that.
Yeah, it's funny, man, because they probably get mad because I know they watch the show. I was telling you about a group of African American girls that was out there in Colombia. We would mix it up and hang out with each other. Real cool girls, man. Shout out to my boy Dre. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. But they were telling us, they were just like, yo, Colombian dudes don't rock with us. Like, they don't really mess with us like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they be just trying to get a little quick check or a quick little bang, and they be right back to their Latino women. And I told them, I said, shorty, because these my homegirls. I really rock with them. Like, we have a good time. Like, we really became good friends. And I told him, I said, listen, you probably came to the worst city to try to get a man.
Right.
Medellin. Like, Medellin is set up for men, not women, and they have a certain standard with they women. Even out here in Brazil, it's like a real mixed culture. Like, everybody dates everybody here in Brazil. But the men are culturally expecting to be dominant to a certain degree over their women. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. We all know how Colombian women get down. Like, I've dated plenty of Colombian women. I was going to pull some clips up to, show my little ex-novias and everything. They get little attitudes. They get feisty. They'll throw something at you, But they're still looking at you like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you the man of the relationship, regardless. Like, the basic core of being feminine, they all have pretty much. You know, like just these foreign women, and that's why I say the greatest threat might not just be Hispanic women; it's just foreign women in general. Because once you start dating a Filipino or a Thai girl or whatever, you know what I'm saying, South African woman, and a brother gets a taste of a true feminine woman, it's a wrap. He will no longer take dating serious in America, and I say this all the time. So the more guys you get that actually travel overseas, the more guys is going to opt out of dating in the Matrix, bro. Hands down.
Bro, if you in the top 20% in the United States, what that make you in most of these countries we travel to?
Top 1%, 0.1. I don't know.
So,
Cortez Smith made a good point. He said the greatest threat may be a passport.
Oh, they gonna find ways to take your passport if you $1 behind on child support. They gonna find some ways.
Right. So basically, do you 100% agree with what Kevin Samuels' statement was?
A lot of stuff he did. One point, I don't agree with enemy. I don't know. I don't know why he used that. Cause I don't know why he used that. But I will say when he talked about season and food, right? I know where he was.
Okay, yeah. Let's talk about that because in Colombia, man.
I know where he was coming. I know where he was getting at. So I'm gonna use a better analogy. So my girl, right? So one day, so after COVID, when countries start opening back up again, right? I went to Colombia. I ain't seen my girl in like 8 months, right? So she cooked. When she cooked, and you notice this with Colombian women, or maybe even Brazilian women or Dominican women. But when my girl cook, when she make a plate, it's always presentation. She put she just put fruit a certain way, eggs a certain way. It looked presentable. So I posted it on social media. Right? I posted in one of the groups, right? And one dude made a comment. He was like, "Man, see, this is what I'm talking about, man. Black women just throw shit on a plate."
Right.
And I must have put this in. I must have put this in like a group where it was like a lot of females in the group too. And I was like, man, and I think I like echoed the comment. And black women they was just pissed off. They was like, we don't just throw stuff on a plate,
Now,
some of us.
I will agree with that though. Like, when black women bring you a plate of food, it be pretty much put together pretty well. I will say that. Now, I don't really,
You see some of these plates sometimes posted. It's just like everything just
yeah. You're talking about probably the newer generation, but
yeah.
me dating in the past, yeah. You be at that barbecue and sister bring you that plate, boy. It's gonna be set up pretty nice, especially if she know what you like.
Right.
Yeah, I will say that. Shout out to Kirby P Films with a $5 super chat. He says, "What's up, BMT? Can you do a video on the brothers who own businesses in the DR, especially resorts? Thanks." Kirby, you might can go in the archives, man. I actually do have a lot of interviews with cats out there in the Dominican Republic, man. Shout out to Dean Cole. Shout out to my guy Flip Flop, who I'll be on his show later on tonight as well. We're going to be discussing Colombia, DR, and what's the other one? Brazil, basically. Doing like some type of friendly comparison. Shout out to Flip Flop. I just spoke him up. Shout out to my dude Flip Flop. So yeah, man, I do have a lot of interviews, but I will do some more interviews out there. So that is a good idea. I will bring some guys on who actually owns properties out there in DR. Shout out to my dude Cardell too, man. Cardell put a lot of work out there in the Dominican Republic. So shout out to Cardell. He definitely has a lot of information and concern of real estate in the Dominican Republic. Somebody said, "That's what's up, man. That's what's up." These comments off the chain. We got 208 in the room. Fellas, do me a favor. Hit that like button when you come in the room, man. Well, I will say this, man. Excuse me. Kevin Samuels, I don't think that he has a passport. He might, I'm not sure. But I will say he does.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He was in Brazil.
He's been to Brazil. He said he's in Brazil.
He was in Brazil this year.
Kevin Samuels.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I had no idea, man. I had no idea. I wonder how that trip went for him. But I will say that it's definitely some truth. Like you said, the whole enemy, maybe that wording was just for like kind of like clickbait to kind of just hit him in the head because for the most part, I think his core audience is women. It might be half and half. I'm not sure. Uh, but I think the biggest threat is just having the passport and being able to have options and travel the world in general, man. Because that's a big option to have. Like when you dating a woman in South Africa, you dating a woman in Colombia, you dating a woman in Eastern Europe. You know what I'm saying? Like that's those having those options. You're not going to tolerate any BS whatsoever.
Let me mention this before I forget. So, you did mention like celebrities, and so you got certain athletes that's married to Latina women too, like Chris Bosh, Offset. Who else got a Latin wife? Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan has that cute. Yeah, she does.
And I know it's a few others, but even when you see guys with money are trending, they're trending to Latina or another ethnicity. Even in the with the athletes now. So I mean, they've seen it. They've seen it. They may have not felt it's a threat. They just feel like, oh, when a man gets money, he just goes black. They don't. They just see it as we're going there, going for them as a status. But they don't. They're not seeing it's because of personality and culture. It's not because we want this trophy. Like that.
That's very true. That's very true. Now let me ask you this, man. On the scale of submissiveness and being feminine, how would you kind of compare that with Colombian and South African women? Like, which one would you say?
Feminine energy. Well, I would say out of all the Latin countries that's frequently visited, I would say Dominicans are the most feminine.
Okay, that's a shocker.
So there's feminine gestures that you can see in women, not just how they treat you.
I take that back. You are right. Yeah, you are right about that. You're right about that.
Their mannerisms,
they're extremely feminine in the Dominican Republic.
But if you want to compare, if you want to throw South Africa, I would say the feminine trait in South Africans is they're very soft spoken. They don't have deeper voices. Even if they wanted to like yell and scream at you, it's just not as forceful because they just don't have they just don't have the testosterone that we have as like people of West African descent. So I would say they're feminine because they just don't have like the same DNA as us from West African descent. Same as like an Asian. You'll never feel like an Asian woman is matching your energy as a man. You don't feel that. You won't feel that in from South African women. Now Colombian women can get with you if they really wanted to.
Oh, you talking about as far as like going back and forth, like arguing and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, because that's part of being feminine. Like the how what's your highest level of temperance can be. So I would say that as far as just the way South Africans talk, the tone I would say is very feminine. But comparing it to like a Latin country, I would just say Dominican women I've seen the most feminine.
And do they kind of get down in the kitchen? They get down with the spices and everything in the kitchen.
The only thing I will say about the cooking, I didn't have one time a chick tried to cook, but the cooking skills I haven't seen it. I'll be honest with you. The cooking skills I've seen as far as South Africa is concerned, or Africa in general, I just haven't seen it. So I will say I won't give them the edge as far as cooking, and then also the food. The food we might not like as much either as a whole.
Okay, let me catch a super chat, and I got a question for you, bro. Shout out to Intellect again with a $5 super chat. He said, here in Seattle, the Asian women are encroaching on white women and Latinas. This surprised even me. You a top tier brother, and they are coming for you. That's what's up. I might need to visit Seattle. Hold on, let me. Where is this? Okay, I want you to answer this right here. Balare Kermu. Sorry if I mispronounce your name, bro. That's a hell of a name. But he says, which tribe of South Africa are you referring to? Because it's not a monolith.
I mean, that's complex. I mean, you can only speak on your experiences, right? I mean, I've interacted with women from Zulu, Petty, Kosa.
Okay.
And so those pretty much like the main ones I've interacted with. But just from what I've seen, when you do the same thing in every country, you just kind of know, like you just kind of notice differences. It don't take too much, especially if you season and experience. So I do the same, I do the same thing, same interactions, different results in different places. So
okay, we got. I was read this comment real quick. He said, "Learn Spanish like I did." I believe I know who this is. He said, "Let's be real. We love women who are in shape. How do Colombians, Dominicans, and African American women stack up body wise? Who's the most overweight?" That's a loaded question, bro. You gonna get us thrown off YouTube? You answer that. What's
well,
your opinion on that, man? I'll throw you on the bus with that question. What's your opinion on that?
well, I would say in even countries you didn't mention, I would say overweight women I've seen the most in outside of the United States is Brazil. I've seen a lot of
You
overweight.
seen overweight women here in Brazil?
Yeah,
Bro, I
yeah.
don't know. I haven't seen
They
too
have
many
a
overweight
time
women,
out,
bro.
time out, time out, time
I have
out,
not seen too many overweight women
time
out
out.
here, bro.
We're gonna somebody put a cap emoji in the chat for me.
Bro, these women are
listen,
in shape
listen, listen,
like hell out here,
listen,
bro.
listen. All right, maybe if you go, you'll see it. You'll see it online dating. You'll see
Mm-hmm.
you'll see a lot of overweight profiles. And I'm gonna prove it. I'm gonna justify because in Brazil, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brazil give you the biggest portion size of food. Tell me anywhere you've been to. Tell me they don't give you a big portion size of everything.
They give you a nice size. They give you a nice piece. Yeah, but it's a big fitness culture out here, man. Like I will say this: if you go to the beach, you might see two overweight women, but you're gonna see 500 women that's in shape, bro.
Rio or Brazil.
I mean, I'm just talking about Rio in general, especially where I'm at in Barra Jajuca, man. These women out here are too in shape, in my opinion.
Oh, but I would say
I like the bodies of I like how Dominican women are kind of built. You know what I'm saying? Like they built like they just got nice natural bodies that they don't have like the firmness like that. Like so, I like how Dominican women are built on average, basically.
yeah,
But
but
I don't
like
see too many big Colombian women like that either, though.
I could say that about Houston, Texas. There's not a lot of overweight women, but when we talking about like if we talking about the country, you know, we know obesity rates is high in the U.S. and Brazil. But to kind of answer his question though, as far as like the least, where I've seen it the least, definitely Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, you're gonna see a lot of thick women in South Africa, but they're gonna be slim up top, small waist, and they might have some big thighs, things like that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to bring this up when Kevin Samuels talked about the cooking. Now, Colombian women, this is how I took when he said seasoned food. I didn't take it as flavor. I took it as looking out for your health because you know how a lot of people say Colombian food is bland or stuff like that, but it's one of the healthiest cuisines. And a lot of people say a woman, having a certain woman, you'll live longer. You'll live longer in a marriage or a relationship with a woman. Now, I've I work with men. I've seen some of their plates, or they say their wife cook. Like I've seen like undercooked chicken. I've seen like overseasoned food. Like you watch some of these Instagrams or Facebook people cooking, they put so much seasoning in their food, you know. And
You talking about American or which one you talking about?
America. I mean,
Okay, yeah.
in America, I see like I see a lot of I see some good cooks, and I see a lot of bad cooks, especially I see a lot of black women do a lot of cooking videos, and they just put so much seasoning in the food.
Well,
And so
in South America, they ban a lot of stuff like high fructose corn syrup. They be banning, so like even everything tastes different out here. Like chips don't taste as good because they don't have a lot of preservatives out here like that. Like if you buy some fruit out here, it's gonna go bad like the next day in your refrigerator. Versus in America, that fruit can look like that for the next 10 days. It won't even rot. Let me catch the super chat real quick. Shout out to Will again for the $5 super chat. He says, fellas, share this live with all your female friends right now so they can hear how we are thinking and viewing them. He try to get we'll get Mo on here again if you want. Y'all didn't like Mo like that. Mo went viral too.
Oh yeah, she wanted
call you?
Yeah, she hit me up.
What'd she say when she saw it?
She said I got some words for O'Shea. She said she's like he ain't finna have me out there like that.
Yo, yeah, man. That was the good one. We got 248 in the room, man. That might be a record, man. That's what's up. What's up? That's what's up, man. Hit that like button. Okay, I got another question for you. Shout out to Will once again. Hold on, I just missed it. No excuse, ENT. Is there a physical difference between the tribes in South Africa? Like, I guess what's that? Xhosa and Zulu? Xhosa and Zulu? Okay.
I mean, there are some slight differences. I think the Xhosas, they have a lot of, I would say, caramel complected, like skin tones, caramel complected skin tone. There's not really a lot of physical differences. Like you can't really look at a woman and say she's this or that. But I know the Zulus definitely, I would say, are more voluptuous. So you would definitely like going to Durban. You'll definitely notice a lot of more voluptuous women on the Durban side than if you go to like coastal territories like Port Elizabeth, East London, things like that. So there's minor differences.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So you basically saying they got pretty nice bodies in South Africa in general.
Yeah, yeah. The picture y'all see, the pictures I threw over. I mean, it's a clear difference, man. It's just like they just stack differently, man.
Now, did you travel with your Colombian fiance to Africa or?
No, I haven't took her to Africa, but I did. I've took her to like Brazil and DR before.
What did she think about Brazil?
She didn't. To be honest with you, she didn't see the hype. She, because she was like, I thought they was gonna be competing with us Colombians, but she just didn't feel like.
She was throwing a little dirt, huh? She was throwing a little dirt. Man, Brazilian women are gorgeous, bro. I'm not gonna front to you. They gorgeous out here, bro. Like they are very exotic looking, and they come in all flavors, shapes. This is such like a mixed race of people.
They got some baddies in Brazil.
Yeah, any type of look that you want, because you got the Portuguese, you got the Afro, you got the Japanese, you got the Indians. Like you got I mean, they can look like anything out here, bro. They can look like anything out here, but you need to know some Portuguese. You definitely need to know some Portuguese. The cool thing is, once you move like outside the tourist area, like in this area where I'm at, the people will kind of start teaching you the language. And that's the whole thing I love about traveling. That's why I love living overseas, man, because I love just finding out about the culture, finding out about different foods to eat. And they all kind of same thing in Colombia, where they kind of teach you the language. They say, hey, man, this is how you say this, and the cool thing about the area that I'm in, that they teach English in the schools pretty early. So a lot of people like know English out here, bro. Like it's amazing, and I love it.
Yeah.
So, man, we're gonna go ahead and wrap the show up, man. I appreciate the family joining in. I gotta do a show with my brother Flip Flop in I think it's about 20-30 minutes, man. I think we had a good discourse, man. I think we kind of, for the most part, Kevin Samuels was definitely hitting some points. I just, in my opinion, I just feel like, dating Western women in general, you kind of know what you're getting more so. And if you've dated overseas, for my, it's hard to go back. I'm not saying it's indicative of all American women, because you do have some Southern belles, women from them country towns that might still want a traditional relationship. You do have that. A woman in somewhere in the backwoods in Mississippi might have a different vibe than Atlanta. In the city, she don't run into so many people like that. And she has a strong family structure, and that's what it's all about. For the most part, South America and a lot of places overseas have a strong patriarchal family type of structure where the women are used, even if it's a broken family, the women are still kind of used to listening and, what I'm saying, submitting to men, cooperating with men because they have to, because that's what the culture says. If you are dating a Latin woman or just, a woman that's a different ethnicity, she's still going to be an American woman. She's still going to look at the world like an American woman, whether she's black, white, or Latina. You know what I'm saying? Or American, Asian American, whatever. She's going to look at the world from that westernized programming.
Mm-hmm.
So I think personally, Kevin Samuels has a good point, but I do think that if you do date overseas, your options would be better, it'll be vast, and you'll be dealing with the women in the area of the actual source of the, what I'm saying? Like you'll be there, bro. And you have so much more leverage, in my opinion. And your dollar stretches along a whole lot further too. And they know that, you know. They know that, man. Shout out to Quay. He says backwoods of Mississippi is the same as Atlanta. Oh, that's messed up, man. If it's the same as Atlanta. I hate to hear that. But yeah, man. Hey, before we go, man, guys, check out the merch store, man. We got some really good t-shirt designs on there, man. Everybody's been buying a Brazil t-shirt and a Dominican Republic Sasua shirt. You pull up, you're overseas, and you can connect with other travelers. You might run into a guy with a BMT shirt on in your city, man. Y'all can connect. Let me show this brief commercial, and we're gonna go ahead and close out the show, man. Let me just put this up here real quick. Check out the Black Man Travels merch store where you can purchase BMT t-shirts, tank tops, travel quote tees, and much more. Stay travel motivated, my friends. Join the movement. Hey, family, if you want to connect with your fellow travelers around the globe and get early access to content as well as private events and merch store discounts, then make sure you join the private Black Man Travels 2.0 Facebook group. All right, man. Any last thoughts, closing thoughts before we go?
Yeah, man. What I want guys to realize, that's maybe even still between on going abroad or dealing with a matrix chick. What black women are saying indirectly is that they don't really care about the men that they don't want. So if they want the top 20%, that means that 80% of the men they don't want. So they don't care about if this 80% is pursuing Latinas or foreign women. A lot of them don't really care because they're concerned about that top 20%, which a lot of us travelers are. So so even though Kevin's is putting out those feelers, putting out that message, it's not going to really resonate with a lot of black women anyway, because it's like, well, we don't want them anyway, So we got to get away from trying to convince black women, or they've shown us what they want, who they want to deal with. So the only thing that they have to realize is that, or see that the top 20% is going is going elsewhere, and then they'll have to scramble and regroup from that. So that's pretty much all I got.
Bet, man. But once again, brother, appreciate you coming on. That was a great show. Till next time. Peace.